Hello, Toy Collector fans. Universal Toy Collector here, and welcome to the channel. And welcome to another episode of my childhood toy memories. Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of my childhood toy memories, the series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube toy collecting family about certain toys they had as a kid, and those certain toys bring back certain memories. This week, I'm joined by VTR Dave. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Stu. Hello. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back.
Well, you'd have been back a lot sooner if I got the intro right first time. I think this is about take 8 or 9, for goodness sake. But it's nice to have you. Nice to see you again. Hoping you're keeping well.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm also hoping there's going to be a kind of bloopers section at the end of here because
No.
seriously, I've just had 5 minutes of laughter.
Oh, it's so simple, and yet I make it sound so difficult when I'm doing it. It's anyway, but the magic of pre-recordings, you can edit all that kind of stuff out.
Of course.
Right, so you've got like toys with you, haven't you, that you had as your
Yes.
childhood? So what we'll do is we'll get straight into it. Oh, I don't believe it. There you go.
There we are. Hello.
There you are. There you go. The floor is yours, sir.
Right. As you said, I have toys around me. So I'm going to start with some little figures from a
Okay.
sci-fi world, but not the sci-fi world that most people know, which is Star Wars, of course.
Yeah.
But from
Yeah.
this little sci-fi world, Micronauts.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
these little
Interesting.
figures here
Yeah.
are time travelers.
Yeah.
There were four colors of this. I'll show you those in a minute. But they are, yeah, pretty much 3.75-inch figures,
Oh, okay.
articulated with at the
Yeah.
elbows and knees and stuff like that. And I absolutely loved these as a kid. I think because there was such a sort of world building sort of
Yeah.
scenario around all of this. So you had the figures, you had vehicles. Let me just show you an example of a vehicle.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I'd heard of Micronauts, but I was never really into them, and I think I'd seen them every now and again. But
Yeah, well, Micronauts, I think that was a sort of later half of the 70s.
okay,
And
that
orig-
early,
yeah, that early. So they were around sort of 70s and then into the 80s.
right?
And my I tell you why I got into Micronauts. And here's an example of a vehicle, which is one of the
Okay,
race
yeah,
cars.
cool.
And there are many different vehicles, play sets, ships, and all those kind of things. But yeah, the reason I got into Micronauts is actually mostly because of my dad.
Right.
Um, now the reason I love these, and I think the reason my dad also kind of got me into these, is because not only was it a massive sort of world that you can sort of have your imagination go wild in,
Yeah.
but all these things came apart, so you could interchange and build your own stuff. So, for example, this is a race car.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could pull off the back. I can pull off the the uh, the
Spoiler.
spoiler. I can pull
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
the wheels, and then I can combine that with other vehicles and just make whatever the hell I like.
Wow.
Um, and so, yeah, this I think my dad got me into this because if I can remember how this all works, go back again now. There we go. Because he was an engineer, a mechanical
Yeah.
engineer,
Yeah.
um, and uh, I think he just liked to buy me toys, which kind of got me into engineering and building stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
So what?
another. This is
Wow.
also from Micronauts. So this is Micro. I think this is Microtron. There's so many of these things I can hardly remember the names of them. But
Yeah.
this one's motorized, so there were a lot of motors involved in Micronauts as well. So there's a little battery compartment. I don't have a battery in this one at the moment, but you put a little
Okay.
battery in the back. There's a switch on the back. Flip it
Yeah.
over, and this thing wheeled along on its tracks.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then
Cool.
these wheels span around.
Yeah.
And as I say, all these things come off, and you can attach whatever you want on there. This is pretty cool because he's got a little seat on the top, so your
Yeah.
little figures, or time travelers in this case, could sit in the top there. Or this one actually had a head as well, so you could just pull off this thing at the top here and stick on your little kind of devil head in this case.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, because so as I say, this was these are around sort of 70s, 80s. I think Airfix distributed them in the UK, but
Right.
originally this is a line that was derived from Microman in Japan, which
Okay.
was a little bit earlier. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of wacky stuff in this line, but I loved it because of the kind of world building that you could do with it,
Yeah.
and then just make your own stuff out of it, and it
I've
just
got to
goes on
say,
and on.
when you said the 1970s, I was quite surprised by that because I thought they were like sort of like mid 80s types. They, they came out in the mid 80s
Yeah,
simply because of the articulation, because you said they got elbow joints and stuff like that when the figures. And
that's right. Well, people say, Star Wars was the introduction of 3.75, but
well, that's
these
what
little
yeah,
guys, well, especially Microman in Japan, this was around in probably the maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe before 78.
right.
Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
because so there is a little bit of history to this because these are obviously small,
Yeah,
but so you had GI Joe, which was the 12-inch GI Joe,
that's yeah, yeah,
that got shrunk down.
yeah,
So you had the 12-inch GI Joe that went to Japan, but
yeah.
in Japan they didn't really go for the kind of uniforms that GI Joe had. It just didn't
Yeah,
really, it just didn't really fit with them. So in Japan, they decided to make them transparent. So you had these 12-inch transparent figures that were
yeah.
basically Action Man or GI Joe molds. Made them transparent, put a load of silver and chrome on them, and made them space-like basically. And they became Henshin cyborgs. So the Japanese went mad over those. But then, of
Okay.
course, all in the 70s, they decided to shrink everything because of
Think so, yeah.
oil prices and all that kind of stuff. So this is a shrunk down version, essentially, of Henshin Cyborgs.
Okay, this
Um,
is
yeah,
interesting. Really interesting.
yeah, and
What
then of course,
articulation, sorry, has that got?
how many points of articulation?
Yeah.
Well, it's basically it is. Oh, what do we got? You've got ankle joints, you've got knee joints, you've got
Ankle
elbow
joints and
joints.
knee joints as well. That's
Yeah,
because even the GI Joe figures, the 3 3/4 inch GI Joe figures have that kind of
yeah.
articulation.
No, so they're highly articulated. So that means
Yeah,
they can fit in all the vehicles. So that's the thing, right? Not only did they
yeah.
have vehicles, but they could sit in the vehicles, right? That was the whole point. But they weren't just time travelers. So this is called a time traveler. Let me just show you the
Right. Okay.
card. This is a card of the time traveler. So it looked like this basically. And I just thought as a kid, because my dad would, I didn't go to my dad, oh, I want Micronauts, because I
Yeah.
had no idea what Micronauts were when I was younger. My dad just came home with these things. He would just randomly come home with stuff that I think he liked the look of.
Yeah.
Uh, but when I saw that, the card, I thought, oh, this looks so cool. What is this? It's kind of like space and everything else. And if
Yeah.
you look on the back, you can see some of the
I mean,
kind of
it's
sets.
yeah, it's quite big, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's,
Huge amounts. I mean, there's loads of vehicle. I mean, yeah, it's massive line. Um, so I didn't have huge amounts of it, but the
yeah.
stuff I did have, I loved. And here's an example of another kind of character. So it wasn't just time travelers. There was many different characters. I think these were, well, in English you'd say Acroyear, but I think it was more like Icroyar or something like that. I
Oh,
guess it
okay.
would be
Right.
pronounced
Yeah.
something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, these, and they're chromed and everything as well. So as a kid, I just loved these things. Absolutely loved
Yeah.
them.
They look
Um,
so cool.
yeah, and I really, it was my dad. As I said, he was a mechanical engineer, and he worked on in the marine industry. So he would build bridges for
Yeah.
cruise ships and
Oh, that's
luxury
awesome.
luxury yachts and stuff. And this is it. This, you might like this actually, Stu, because this is a model of one of the ships that he
Oh,
worked
yeah.
on. Brilliance of the seas. This was so he'd work on design the
Yeah.
bridge
The
that's
bridge.
in here, all the radar equipment and everything. He'd provide all
Oh,
design,
wow.
all that, and provide all that. And this one is actually, believe it or not, it's Royal Caribbean. So
Well, Caribbean. Well, funny we
it
say
is
talk you were saying that because we were just having a discussion in the back, weren't we?
e-
There, the green room there.
exactly. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think when my dad worked on these things, they must have given him, these models and stuff
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a memento of working on there. Yeah.
That's
Um,
that's
but
so
yeah,
with Mike Tyson, was there like any sort of like comics to go with it, or like a
Yep.
TV series? Like there was.
There was a comic. I
Yeah.
never saw TV series, so I don't know if there was ever a comic, a TV series, but there certainly was some comics.
Okay.
But back in the day, I never had any of those comics. I my only reference to Micronauts was the stuff that my dad brought home as toys. That's all I kind of cared about, and I would just, you know, build stuff out of what I had. I had all these vehicles, and I just make bigger vehicles. And then one day I came home. He came home with a fairly big ship, and that had like hundreds of different parts and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, come on, what can I make out of this stuff? I was
I
just
mean,
loving it.
did your friends have any Micronauts when you were growing up, or was it just you that had the Micronauts?
Just me, because most people were into kind of Star Wars, weren't they? So,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, I had a little bit of Star Wars, of course, but yeah, I didn't know anyone else at school that had Micronauts, and maybe this is the thing that triggered my love of Japan as well, because I don't know where else that would have come from.
well, true, true, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I just love the fact that it's such a huge universe that you can explore.
yeah.
I loved all the characters in there, and then the fact that it's interchangeable parts and you could build your own stuff. It was right up my street, right up my
It
street.
the ones you got now, are they the ones from your childhood, or have you
No,
sort of like got
no,
them?
I don't know where they are now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
unfortunately I have very few toys from my
yeah,
childhood. I've got the odd thing from my childhood, but no toys
yeah.
as such.
So do you go
My
out sorry, do you go out and actively look for things that you had as when you were a child?
I when I first started collecting seriously,
Yeah,
one of I tried to remember things that I had as a child and recollect those basically. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome. And how's that? I mean, see. I probably don't because I don't know what I'm looking for. So I mean, are there a lot of Micronauts about at the moment at toy fairs like Sandown, any scene, all the other ones you go to? There
You
are.
do see Micronauts, yeah, you do see them around if you look for them, and sometimes you can get great deals on especially on the little characters, the time travelers. Sometimes if you kind of look around in the tub, you can spot a bundle of these, and I've been
Yeah.
lucky and picked these up for pennies in the past because the guy was selling die-cast cars or whatever and didn't really know what these were.
Okay.
But other times you find them and actually people ask for quite a lot of money for them now. But yeah, you do see them around at the toy fairs, and there is a community of collectors for them, of course, like every toy line. Yeah,
But and now is it quite popular now? Micronauts.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you are in yeah, if you follow the appropriate groups and stuff, you'll see that
Yeah.
there's people there that are massively passionate about Micronauts.
Okay.
And it's not just Micronauts, right? Because it
Yeah.
has tie-ins to Microman as well, so that it bridges into other lines, and then you get into Henshin Cyborg and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's loads of sort of different avenues you can follow with this. I mean, look at this guy. There was even aliens and stuff. I mean, it's a huge line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the aliens are very desirable. This one is a little bit easier to find, but some of those aliens they look cool.
Yeah.
They're quite rare, and therefore, yeah, they demand a little bit of cash. But
So being Japanese, I mean, I'm taking, or I'm guessing that they were a lot more advanced than what they were in the States and the UK when it comes to the figures and stuff like that. Because, like I say, I'm surprised at the articulation and how many points of articulation that has for a figure of the 70s. Because all I knew was Star Wars was the 5 pairway, and then you had the
yeah,
GI Joe figures that came out, which were O-ring, and you had like movable arms and knees and elbows and stuff like that.
yeah,
So and that wasn't until like 82, was it, when they had those kind of figures come out for GI Joe?
for GI Joe, yeah, probably
Yeah,
early '80s. I mean,
yeah.
this alien is no ring. I mean, that was probably a little bit later in the line, but yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
amazing,
okay.
really. Yeah.
So they
So,
they swapped and they swapped their kind of like how they design their
no,
figures then.
I think are the time travelers O-rings? I can't remember now. I think there might be O-rings. Are they O-rings or not? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and pull it and see. I don't
Oh,
think, and maybe this one isn't an O. Oh no, it's stretching. So it
it
might
is.
be there might be an O-ring in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
you can certainly take them apart. I can't remember. I haven't done it for a while, so I think there is an
Yeah.
O-ring in. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. It's like really interesting because I've like I say, I've heard of Micronauts, but I don't know too much about it. And to find out that it was like a 70s toy with that many
Mhm. Yeah.
articulation points is pretty
And
cool. That is.
you've
Wow.
got the chrome head, you've got the chrome kind of chest plates there. Each one of them had a slightly different chest plate for the time travelers. I mean, the time
Yeah.
travelers, I would say, are kind of the most common figures. You know,
Yeah.
if you're going to have an army, if you're going to army build anything, it would be one of these time
Okay.
travelers, especially as they come in 4 different colors, and they're all translucent as well. So, I mean, that's it. You know, translucent as well.
Yeah.
Chrome. I mean, as
Yeah.
a kid, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Oh, that is
Uh,
that is so cool. That is so cool. So, what else do you have for us, Dave?
well, staying on the theme of building stuff, I
Okay.
was massively into
Yeah.
Lego
Yeah.
as a kid, and there were 2 lines that I absolutely adored, and I would always ask for Christmas. Christmas was mostly when I got new Lego sets.
Okay.
Uh, Space Lego, which
Yes.
unfortunately I don't have any at hand. I remember getting the spaceship. I think it was re-released recently. I remember getting that spaceship.
Yeah.
I think it must have been for my birthday in August time, because I remember I remember being in the living room of my parents' house at the dining room table making the spaceship. I just got the spaceship and I was making it, and it was really sunny outside. It was a glorious, glorious summer. The
Yeah.
rest of my family were outside. They're in the back garden. They're all enjoying the sun. I'm inside following the instructions, massively enjoying myself building this spaceship, going, oh, I can't wait to get this done, looking at all the kind of windows and all the doors and stuff that were as you were building the spaceship. And I remember my dad saying, David, you've got to come outside, you must come outside, it's sunny, you got to join the rest of the family. And I just went, nope. I don't. I want to stay indoors and finish off my Lego, because I was just amazed by that space Lego set. And yeah, even to this day, I probably prefer to stay indoors than go outside. um,
Oh, that is
but the
cool.
other kind of Lego was the Technic Lego, and I've
Oh
got
gosh, yeah, I remember that. Oh,
yeah, I got the example here. This is obviously a Lego car. One thing I
yeah,
would say is, right through my childhood, I was mad on cars. So any cars that appeared as toys,
yeah,
just gravitate to that. But this is the Lego Technic set. The car, I think it's getting geeky now. 8860 is the Lego
oh,
number.
gosh, wow.
Um, Early Technic. I think they called it Lego Technic. I don't know if they still call them Lego Technic, or whether it's now Technical Lego or whatever.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, again, I wouldn't know.
I
Blimey, right.
absolutely loved these. There's a whole host of different vehicles in the line. There was a forklift truck, a bike, a tractor, loads of them. I love these, but this one in particular, I just adored as a kid.
Yeah,
Because as a kid, this is quite big, isn't it? So
it
as a kid,
is. It
yeah,
looks
you're
big.
like,
Yeah,
yeah. So
is
as
it
a kid,
heavy?
you're like,
It looks
"Mm,
looks quite
yeah,
weighty. It's like,
fairly
yeah,
weighty, yeah. Um, but again, it's that engineering thing, and I think this is probably why my dad kind of got me into the Technic stuff, because he was an
right.
engineer. So he
Yeah,
thought, oh, I'm not gonna. I mean, I know he likes space, and I buy him a space set for his
yeah.
birthday. But for Christmas, I'm going to buy him something I like. I'm sure he
Oh,
bought
fair
all
enough.
this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure he bought all this stuff so that he
Oh,
could play with it himself, rather than really
no,
for
no,
me.
fair enough. I like that. I
Yeah,
like the thinking there. I like the thinking.
yeah.
When it
But yeah.
yeah, it's just cool. That's cool.
Um, and I loved it because it is, you had all the steering and everything, and it's, I was just fascinated by how that worked. This thing
Yeah.
had a working gearbox with 3 different gears. I was like, that's amazing. Working seats that went forward and backwards and
So it's quite
recline.
detailed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's even got an engine at the back, which has 4 pistons that go in and out with a little fan that spins around. And
Wow.
then the most cool thing, I thought, anyway, it was under. I don't know if it's under there. There's a
Yeah.
diff. There's a diff.
Oh gosh.
There's a working diff there, which as a kid I thought, what is that? I didn't even know what it was, and that's when I
Yeah.
learnt that the diff allows the outer wheel to go spin faster than the inner wheel when you go around a corner.
Oh wow.
And that I learned from Lego. That I
That's
learned from Lego, and I just thought,
great.
you know what? It's that's what got me into a little bit of engineering as well. And yeah, and so I loved all this stuff as a
Yeah.
kid. Actually, also I think I learned how to drive with this car because I remember my dad had some of his work friends around one day.
Yeah.
And I think I was just on the floor pushing this thing around, and I was kind of going forward, and I was reversing, and I was kind of doing. And one of them turned around and said, "He's going to be a decent driver, isn't he?"
Right, so, I mean, how old were you then when you had this, when you had the Lego?
Oh, I don't know. Less than 10. I was probably Lego. I was doing. Yeah, I mean, probably when I was from age of 5, I guess, or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, like I say, I think my dad wasn't necessarily. It wasn't the case that I was asking for this stuff. My dad was just buying stuff, and I would just go, "Oh, that seems kind of cool."
So
And some of it, I
what
go,
would you have asked for then?
"What would I have asked for?" I don't. You know what? It's funny you say that because I'm trying to remember what I would have asked for. I know that we had some Motu, so I probably asked for Motu, asked for Star Wars
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, do you know? I'm trying to think. What did I ask for? And I was thinking about that the other day, and I would say it probably was Star Wars, Motu. Oh, and one other thing that's coming up. Actually, there was one other thing that I did
Okay,
ask
well,
for.
don't
Yeah,
say just yet then,
yeah,
don't say just yet. So when
yeah.
it comes to Lego now, I mean, do you still collect Lego, or you don't sort of like get that as much as what,
No, I
what
don't. I don't really. I collected some of the stuff that I had as a child,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't call myself a Lego collector
right.
today. So I don't go out and buy, for example, the Star Wars sets that they released, or Harry
Yeah,
Potter, or whatever it might
yeah.
be. No, as much as I would like to, I think it's kind of cool thing to
It
build
takes
sets
up a
and
lot of
stuff.
space. It
It
takes up a
does.
lot of
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
I think with Matthew, we did get into a phase of buying him lots of those Lego Speed Champions.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we did a bit of that building. Oh, and we actually also I think I did a bit of I think I think I turned into my dad actually with Matthew. I bought him uh the Lego set. I can't remember what it's called now. It's the Lego set that you could program. I don't remember the name of it. It had a
Oh,
little programmable piece, motors,
okay.
and
Yeah,
it had some uh what do you call it? It had little things on there that could detect light and color and that kind of stuff. So
okay.
you
Yeah,
could build little robots out of it, Lego robots, and program
yeah.
them and stuff like that. I can't remember what it's called now. So I bought him that, thinking, oh, maybe I can get him into engineering or whatever. He didn't care.
He didn't buy it, didn't.
He didn't want to know. No,
No,
he didn't
no,
want to know. No.
no. If if you went to a toy fair and you saw a vintage Lego spaceship like you had as a kid, and then next to it there was like a modern day version, which one would you have gone for? I'm pretty guess. I'm sure I can know what you're
I
gonna
would
go.
go for the vintage.
The vintage.
Yeah. But if it was a spaceship that I had as a child, I probably would like
Yeah,
to find one that's in nice condition. If it wasn't one that I didn't have as a child, then I probably would, just buy it.
yeah.
But yeah, because that one they really re-released, and I was very tempted by it, but I didn't pull the trigger.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but
And
yeah,
and what
I've never
one?
seen that
Sorry,
vintage one, by the way. I've never seen that
you
vintage
haven't?
spaceship at the fair. No,
No,
never seen it.
no,
No.
no. I was going to say it's really interesting that you say that you sort of like got into engineering because of the toys that your sort of like dad bought you to put together and stuff like that. So those kind of toys, would you have said they had a big impact on where you are now?
Well, I got into engineering. So my dad was a mechanical engineer. I ended
Right,
up being a software engineer,
right.
which my dad was never. he, he always he always said to me, "All you do is sit on your ass all day long for work," which he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong, but it's not an easy job being a software engineer either. Um, but different times, right? When my dad grew up, computers and stuff weren't necessarily
Well, of
a thing.
course.
I grew up in the time that home computers came in, right? So I switched quite quickly from toys to home computers. So
Yeah,
my dad bought again, it was my dad, right? I didn't ask for a home computer. He came home one day with a Dragon 32, and
Good.
I had no idea what it was that he bought. I just thought, what on earth is this?
Yeah.
And opened it up, and I kind of switched it on and looked at the manual, tried a few things, and I was instantly hooked on the home computer. And then he upgraded it to a Commodore 64, and that led me to my career basically there. So I was very much into the engineering, how things worked, um, sort of building components, how the mechanics of things, and
Yeah.
then that led me into software engineering. And as a home computer enthusiast, as a probably 10-year-old or whatever it was, I got completely hooked on it. I was learning how to program on a computer at home, and really that from that point on, I would mostly use that as my kind of enjoyment as a kid, and every
Yeah.
now and then I play with figures, but not much, right?
That's-
Yeah, as soon as I got into the computers and the games and the programming,
That was a game
looking at
changer.
plastic figures, it kind of just like, well, that doesn't do it. It's just a figure. It's just plastic. That's how I kind of felt about it after a while.
Wow.
It's
Well,
really
and what age was this?
pretty young. I was, I'd say I probably about 9 or 10 when my dad brought home that Dragon 32.
That's a young age, isn't it? That's really
Yeah,
is.
I mean, and again, I didn't ask for that. He just brought it home one day. I mean, yeah, when I look back now and I think about what he did bring home and buy, I realize now that he was, even though he sometimes came across to me as quite old-fashioned, only
Yeah.
because he was the older, he was a previous generation, right, to
Yeah.
me, living in different times. I now realize when I look back, he was actually quite forward-looking because he was
Yeah.
always looking around, right, and seeing what was out there. Yeah.
Does he know how much of an effect the things that he
Well,
bought you as a
yeah,
kid?
yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he
He
did.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, that's cool. Cool.
yeah.
Right. What else have you got?
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna change tack completely here
All right.
because one of the things that I used to love playing with as a kid were die-cast cars. Um,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was just where Stu's gonna go. Oh God, no! And the audience turn off now. The audience disappear. But there was one die-cast car that I absolutely loved, and you're gonna recognize it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
Lotus.
Lotus Esprit
Oh,
from,
I had that as well.
yeah, The Spy Loved Me. I mean, who didn't have this car when I was younger?
Yeah.
I mean, and, there was the small version, but I just love this version. Um, it was a bit weird, and when I first got it, I thought, "Well, where are the wheels?" Because you've got these tiny little wheels underneath,
Yeah.
but as soon as you press that button on the
Yeah.
bonnet,
Go on.
all was forgiven, and you're
Mm,
like, "Okay, I'm in love with this thing." Yeah, I
so
just love
enjoyed
this.
it.
And as you know, I'm a bit of a Bond fan,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I think at quite a young age, I kinda started getting into Bond. And of course, you've got the missiles on the back. These aren't, pushed right in, but you
Yeah.
had another lever on the top, and you push that, and the missiles, like, flew for miles, didn't they, out of this thing? So
Yeah.
absolutely love this. So, it's a combination of watching Bond and then actually having the car from the best vehicle ever, I thought, from Bond.
I mean, that is totally unique, isn't it? Because you've not seen anything like that, have you? Up until that point, it's just so iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, and, this is Corgi, and they did a
Yeah.
brilliant job. Corgi did a brilliant job of Bond stuff. Um, yeah, that. And then,
That is so
uh,
cool.
staying on the Bond theme, um, I also absolutely loved this when I
Oh,
was younger. Moonraker Space Shuttle.
yeah.
Again, you had mini versions of this, but you had a lever underneath which, could, reveal the undercarriage there.
Okay,
And
cool.
then, of course, you got the, doors, the bay doors that open up, and then inside was a little, uh,
Satellite.
satellite, yeah. And to be honest, I didn't I played with this all
Yeah.
the time, but I never really played it in terms of Bond, I just treated this as a space shuttle
Yeah.
because I was absolutely fascinated by the space shuttle when I was younger. Absolutely fascinated by it.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and I kind of got a bit obsessed with it.
Yeah. It,
uh,
so talking of space shuttles, you saying you're interested in the space shuttle and you had an interest in the space shuttle. If you ever get to go to Kennedy Space Center, I think you would thoroughly enjoy that. You would
well,
thoroughly enjoy that. There's a
well, it's
there's a
funny you
there's,
say
I'm not
that.
going to give anything away, but there's a certain part in there with a certain reveal, and it almost brought me to tears. And that was like a few years back. So
Well,
it's incredible.
yeah. Well, as a kid, I was fascinated by the space shuttle. In fact, I was just fascinated by the US.
Yeah.
I had a massive fascination with the US. In fact, there was a school project when I was much younger that what was the school project? Basically, they said write not a book, but write a kind of a yeah, write about your favorite subject,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
Write about
Yeah.
your favorite subject. Make it about sort of 4 or 5 pages long. And that was the project. This is when I was really younger. So my subject was the US. I was just absolutely fascinated by it. Not US history. I didn't write
Yeah.
about US history. I wrote about the fact that they had awesome cars and
Yeah.
they ate a stack of pancakes for breakfast
Yeah.
and they produced awesome TV. You know,
What's not
that's
to
what I
like?
did. And they
Yeah.
had and they traveled to space. You know, I was so
Yeah.
fascinated by it. In fact, I had such a fascination with the space shuttle that when I was younger, I tried to find as many space shuttles as I could
Okay.
and asked my dad to basically get them for me. So this was the GoBot space shuttle, which I
Oh,
loved as a kid.
GoBots. Oh,
Yeah, do you
wow.
remember those?
I
Yeah.
do.
This is one of the best GoBot in my mind, one of the best GoBots that there
It
ever
doesn't
was.
look too bad, does it? I mean, that does look
No,
pretty cool.
that's not bad. And then, and then, I just said to my dad, "Please find me space shuttles wherever you can." So he found me this one, the Earth space shuttle.
Gosh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then Corgi also did a small uh, NASA space shuttle as well, which I had as a kid. So I just had a real fascination with the space shuttle. And
Yeah, that is
my dad,
cool.
as when I was a kid, my dad would travel all over. So he would
Yeah,
often go to America. He would often go there. He would go to Florida, and as
yeah,
you said, he go to the Cape Canaveral, right?
yeah.
And he would, he would tell me about stuff and bring stuff back. So I did. So one of the first when I could actually afford it, when I first got a job, one of the first things that me and my mates did was fly to Florida.
Oh, you
And
did go? Okay.
yeah, we flew to Florida because I was so fascinated by the US and I was so fascinated by um, the space projects and program that they had
Mm.
that we flew over to Florida. We obviously went to Orlando and did the Disney and stuff, but we also traveled to the space center.
Oh, you did go.
Unfortunately, we didn't see a shuttle take off,
Oh, right.
but to be there and just see the scale of everything
Yeah.
was just mind blowing. I mean,
It is, isn't it? It is. I mean, yeah, it's just incredible. It really is. It's quite overwhelming.
absolutely mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
It's just the scale of it, just seeing the buildings that they store these, the shuttles in, and then
Yeah.
that massive transporter thing that just travels inch by inch.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like you say, going around all the exhibits and stuff. I was just absolutely awestruck by it all. That was one of
Yeah.
my favorite parts of going to Florida, definitely. And that
So was
was
it? No, go on. Sorry.
no, I was just going to say, and that was all because of really Moonraker, right? It was all because
Well,
of
yeah, I was
this.
just about to ask. Was it
Yeah,
Moonraker that got you into the?
yeah,
It was.
absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I do like diecast. I mean, I obviously as a kid I had diecast vehicles myself and stuff like that. But I find the ones that I like the most were the TV series diecast. You know, like your Batmobiles or your James
right.
Bond cars and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, was that just the only ones you had, or did you go venture more into the corgi stuff with the other sort of
Oh,
like
no,
like
as a kid, I had loads of different corgi cars,
yeah,
loads of them. In fact, I got a few up in the loft, and some of them are from childhood. Um, but yeah, all sorts of different cars, and uh, yeah, I just love playing with those. As I
yeah,
said, I was massively into cars, and I think that's why my son is hugely into racing now, because
yeah,
I think my passion for cars and racing and motorsport has kind of, yeah, definitely spilled into him,
yeah,
and yeah, he loves all that now. But yeah, one day, if Shabby does another Tub Thumpers, then, which I think he's doing, then
yeah.
I may do one which is just going through all the corgi cars that are up in the loft, because
Oh, that'd be
but
cool.
I'm not sure if people would be interested in that. They might just fall asleep. They
Oh,
go,
no, well,
"Oh,
yeah. Oh, no.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. I think there would be. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That
corgi,
is
dinky, all those kinds of things." Yeah,
yeah,
and of course, you could buy American cars as well, miniature American cars,
yeah,
which of course we never had those in the UK. You never had those beasts of those cars with the tail fins and the amazing
yeah.
lights and everything. I mean, what did we have? We had an Austin Allegro, and you know, like,
So exciting. Oh, wow. Austin Allegro. My goodness me. Oh,
so it was like I was just fascinated by the US. I just thought everything out there was just so crazy and big
yeah.
and awesome. But
I mean, do you still have that fascination? Have you taken that fascination with you as an adult, or is it sort of like waned a little bit over the years?
no, there is still that fascination. It has waned a little bit, because obviously there's reality. When you grow up, you you understand the realities of life.
Yeah,
Um, but and also when it comes to cars, the world is basically just tuned into the same set of cars, so it's not unique anymore, right? If you go to the States, you're not really seeing unique cars, although you do still see obviously massive pickup trucks and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
Um, which my son and I went to America last year, and
yeah.
he was fascinated by the American car culture and stuff that's out there. Uh, but yeah, I think you do get used to it after a while, and you do realize that the grass isn't always greener, right?
Well, I don't know. The way I look at it, I think the grass is pretty green. But
Well,
like you say,
I
like
could have
reality.
moved. Yeah, I maybe one regret I would have in life is perhaps not living in America for a while. I could have, with my job, I could have had that opportunity to work in the States, and I never
Okay,
did. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. What about now? Would you?
I would still consider moving to the States. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah,
I would do that permanently, but having said that, all the friends that I've known that have gone to the States have never come back. So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is a one-way street most of the time. Yeah.
That's so cool. Awesome. When it comes to your vintage cars and stuff like that, and your Matchbox or your Corgi cars, again, are these things that you actively look for when you go around a toy fair, or do you just you look at them and then don't have any
No,
intention of buying them?
I look at them. I do look at
Yeah,
them, but I don't buy them. I don't collect them, but I do like to look at them. They're
yeah,
Yeah, there's I know it's a world that's dying. Um, a lot of those collectors are getting to that age now where they're just giving up on, collecting or passing away, whatever it might be.
yeah,
It is definitely the past generation kind of thing. Uh, but there's still a lot of it around at the fairs, and I do
yeah,
still have a look. And as you say, right, the nice thing about all those die-cast cars is you've got such a range, right? You can go and buy accurate replicas of cars that were actually on the streets,
yeah,
or you can go and buy cars that were from TV series or whatever, right? And
yeah,
the Batmobiles and whatever else, that are out there, all the cop shows and stuff with all their cars. You could buy
yeah,
die-cast versions of all of those. So I do have a look, and I still think they're really cool. I still think
yeah.
they're really cool, but I don't buy them.
No, okay, no worries. What else have you got, Dave?
Oh, where are we going next? Right. Well, here's one that may not have been shown before on my childhood memories. This is a bit of a love-hate relationship, and it's something that's very common. It's the Rubik's Cube.
Oh, good gosh! Wow. Okay, yeah, this is a first exclusive. Yeah.
The
Wow.
Rubik's Cube. Um, I, oh, I just, yeah, have a love-hate relationship. To this day, I still can't complete this damn thing.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
No,
Okay.
even to this day. So if I open this up, I'll open this up, and this one is not complete.
And how long have you had that one?
Oh, years and years, years and years. The only time I can complete this, there's two ways I can complete this.
Yeah.
One is, and I did this by the way back in the day. I bought this book,
Oh my
mastering
gosh. Wow.
mastering Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, didn't
Um,
even realize I did that. Didn't even realize I did that.
this is the only way that I could solve it, and I had to look
Yeah.
through it. And, it's always row 3. The first 2 rows, no problem at all. Row 3, have to go to the book. That's the only way I can complete it. And then the other way that I can complete it is by building a Lego solver, a mechanical one. And this was a project that me and Matthew did. So remember I said earlier that I bought Matthew this Lego thing. I can't remember what it was
Yeah.
called. I don't remember what it was called now. But this Lego thing with motors and sensors and stuff like that. Somebody had built a mechanical Lego solver out of Lego, out of that set. So I
Right.
built the set. You can download the program and program it into the module.
Yeah.
You put the Rubik's Cube in. I did a video of this. I think there's a video on one of my on my channel. You put the Rubik's Cube in.
Yeah.
The Lego thing scans it so it can understand all the colors. It then
Yeah.
works out how to do it, and then these arms come down, Lego arms, and it lifts it up and it twists things around and it completes the cube. And
Wow.
those are the only 2 ways that I know of solving the Rubik's Cube. My brain is not one of them.
I'll let you into a third way of doing it.
Oh, the stickers by any chance?
I had one of those as a kid, and I spent hours doing it, and I was getting nowhere, and I was getting very, very frustrated. And I was around my nan's at the time. So what I did is I got so frustrated. I know I'm going upstairs, and I went upstairs, and I was up there for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And I
Yeah.
come back down and I was going, I've done it. I've done it. And they're going, oh, that's great. Well done. Oh, well done. Awesome stuff like that. And my uncle takes it, looks at it and goes, yeah, you peeled the stickers off, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, no, and of course the stickers hadn't gone on straight and stuff like that. And they were like, one of them was like loose or like just like turned off. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I took the stickers off, but I
That's
never
brilliant.
managed to complete a Rubik's Cube.
That is brilliant. Do you know, I was also fascinated by how on earth this actually worked. It was like, how does this actually work? So I did actually take one apart when I was younger to see how it worked. I was fascinated by that. Now, a story associated with this. On the back here, it has an address. So this was if you have a look on the side here, Ideal Toys.
I remember those, yeah. I remember that company.
Now on the back has an address here, Ideal Toy Company Limited, Wokingham, Berkshire. So
wow, look, down the road.
yes, exactly. Now, as a kid, it doesn't exist now, by the way. Of course, Ideal Toys does not exist in Wokingham anymore. That it's long gone. But as a kid, it did. And my mate, who I was very good friends with at school, he had an amazing Star Wars collection. So you go into his house, and his dad had basically converted the loft into like a toy room. On one side was Star Wars, and that was where I'd go and play with the Millennium Falcon. I never had one of my own, never had a Falcon of my own. I still don't have a Falcon. There's something about me is blocking me from buying it. But I'd always go over to my mate, and he would have the Falcon, and we'd play there.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the room, he had TCR. I don't know if you remember TCR. It's like Scalextric, a kind of smaller version.
Yeah.
So the track, it was electrified. And the nice thing is you could change lanes and you'd have really kind of cool smaller cars. And you had a massive track layout on the other side of the loft.
Yeah.
Now TCR was distributed by Ideal.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Now, I don't know how my mate found out about this, but at that Ideal location, they had a couple of fairly large bins where they chucked out stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So one so quite often we would go down to Ideal late at night. I don't remember how we got into we didn't break into the building. I just want to
Yeah.
add this quickly.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how we got into the grounds, whether we had to climb over something or not. I don't remember, but I do remember going up to these massive, like the big
Bins, yeah.
bins and diving in there literally and trying to find stuff from Ideal, in particular TCR stuff. And quite often we would find TCR track, TCR cars, all sorts of stuff. So we were so yes, Ideal. If there's any Ideal employees watching this, I just like to apologise for.
Yeah, I just want to say I don't condone his behaviour either. Shocking.
It
I
wasn't
mean,
me. It wasn't
oh,
me. It was my mate. It was my mate.
yeah, yeah. You just didn't watch. Okay. Wow. I mean, that
But
reminds me of like people when they talk about like Palatoy and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
wow.
I mean, we didn't have Palatoy because that was further north. But
Yeah,
yeah, but I can imagine that there could have been very similar bins where they just chuck stuff out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, we found loads of TCR bits and pieces in the. I mean, and none of it really seemed to be broken either. It was really odd. I
Yeah.
guess they produced so much of the stuff and they had so much of it lying around that they didn't care if they threw it away or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
Yeah,
mean, you saying that you like cars and you're well into cars and stuff like that. Did you ever have a Scalextric of your own?
I did. I did have
You
Scale
did.
Electric. Yes,
Yeah.
but I didn't really like it. I got bored of it
Oh,
very,
okay.
very quickly. I remember my dad buying me Scale Electric, and I got very excited because it's cars and they're motorized cars, and I just have to pull the trigger. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So we set up the track and we put all the barriers around it, and we, put up buildings, and we kind of make it like a proper sort of race event. And I get
Yeah.
the cars, and we're like, I can't remember what cars they were that we had. I'm trying to remember now what we had. I'm kind of thinking that they were Porsches or something like that. I got a feeling
Because
they
you had
might.
different scales, didn't you?
Sorry.
There are different scales of cars that you could have.
I don't.
Yeah,
Were there? I know that. I don't know if there were different scales for Scale Electric. I know the ones that I would have would be kind of about that kind of length.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had the brushes underneath, and so you'd make sure that the brushes were kind of nice and
Yeah.
clean and straight and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I'm sure they were I'm sure we had a 911 set. It was Porsche 911s, and
Okay.
so we set it all up, and it had the figure of eight and all that kind of stuff, and there was a bridge. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Put the cars on, press the lever, straight off the track.
They did that. Yeah.
So my dad would go, no, you can't do full power around it. It's got to be a little bit of skill. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
second time round, you're going, zzz, and then let it go a little bit, and it goes around the corner. Zzz, zzz, and then about 10 minutes later, it's still going around the track. And I'm like, I'm bored. I'm absolutely bored of this.
Wow.
And my dad, the look on my dad's face is just like, well, that's the last time I'm doing that then. It's I
Oh dear.
I can't be the only one that finds Scale Electric the most boring thing ever.
It
I
would. I think it's more frustrating because, like you say, you're so eager to play it. You press down hard on that trigger, and it just like shoots straight off the track, and you're like, "Oh God, okay." But you do it 2 or 3 times before you realise you've got to. It's like you slow down on the bends, didn't you? No, you just
yeah,
full power. And it just yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
I
So
didn't mind
so in the
Scalextric.
end,
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I remember the smell of it. So in the end, it was kind of like, oh, the smell kind of was more attractive
Yeah,
than
God,
actually
there was
playing
that
it after.
distinct smell, wasn't there? There was that
Yeah, there
distinct.
was a definite smell to it. Yeah. Oh no,
Okay,
my dad's like, no, I'm never not doing
no.
that ever again. No,
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So
because
I'm guessing then if you saw a Scalextric, you wouldn't pick one up just for out of
no, I
no,
wouldn't because
no, not at all.
no,
No, no, no.
no. Well, the thing is, you could set it up, and then it would take up,
Yeah,
like the living room floor,
yeah,
and then that's the other annoying thing. You then had to pack it all away again.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like,
If
I, I,
you did get one and you were into it, would it be a case of you found a specific space for it and kept it there set up so you didn't have to pack it away like a display piece, as like you do with train sets?
yeah, no, no. I just don't think it would be of interest, to be honest. No,
Fair enough.
no. I
Fair
just
enough.
think that memory is just completely switched me off Scale Electric. I'm sorry, any fans out there of Scale Electric. I love
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cars. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Actually, you know
They're
what?
good.
I could collect the cars without the tracks and everything.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
yeah,
some of those cars are pretty cool, but you can also get most of those cars in other forms as well. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Scale Electric fans. I'm really
No,
sorry.
I did start collecting Scale Electrics. I mean, when I started working for the company that I work for, I started getting a few of their cars and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And then you get sort of like sick and tired of seeing them every day. I've moved them on. So
right.
there you are. There you go. Right. Okay. So we're coming to the top of the hour. We've got one more. We can fit you in
There's
one
one
more.
more. Blimey,
We've got
is it
one
all?
more. Oh
Hang
God.
on, hang on,
I
but hang
take you
on.
got loads, but you
Can
probably
I
don't
just
know.
finish off on the Rubik's stuff because I forgot to show you.
Yes, you can.
Um,
Sorry. How
so yeah,
dare I?
I was fascinated by the Rubik's Cube, even though I couldn't do it. And then, do you remember this?
What's that?
The Rubik's snake.
No.
Ah, oh, well, the instructions just fell out
Oh,
of
I
it.
don't know. I think I might have seen it.
Yeah. So this was the next thing that I was fascinated by when I was a kid. It was like, what is that? And then I'll see if I can undo it, if I can get it to work. Here we go, somewhere around it. So you can pull it apart and then make.
Yeah, it's like a snake. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, yeah. So you can make like a swan and all sorts of other things. So
Oh,
so I was fascinated by that thing. But again, it didn't last as long in my imagination as the Rubik's Cube. But I do remember buying this book when I was younger, which is all the different kinds of shapes that you can make out of the Rubik's snake.
was it the same company?
Yes, Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Ideal. I don't know if it was distributed by Ideal or not.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look and see if there's anything on there that says. Not sure. Not sure. But yeah, so I would try and make everything out of the book basically. It's like, but yeah, that one didn't last quite as long as the Rubik's Cube for me. But I did have fun with this. I did have fun with
Yeah.
this when I was a kid.
Can you put that back together? Let's see you put it back together.
No, probably not now. Hang on.
It's like watching Shabby put a transformer together, isn't it?
I'm afraid I'm going to break it actually.
Oh, well, don't go doing that.
Hang on. Oh, oh no. You know what? Actually, you know what? This is more difficult than I remember. Damn. Which way does that go around that way? No. You think I'd be able to?
Yeah.
I'll have to do that later.
Good luck with that.
I've completely failed. Oh man.
Just look at your book. Just look at your book.
Yeah, that's more complicated than I remember actually. Oh, well, anyway. Yes, the Rubik's snake and the Rubik's cube. I was yeah, love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I can I totally get that. Okay, so yeah, what else you got, Dave?
Well, I've got two more things.
We'll go for it. No, we'll do it. We'll do two of them. We can go over the hour. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. It's all good.
This is something I did ask my dad for all the time. Action Man.
Okay, yeah.
Action Man. I just loved Action Man. This was one of my favorites. This is the Parachute Regiment.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated by this uniform. I was fascinated by the beret. I don't know why. I was fascinated by the beret. I just thought, why are they wearing a beret? It was just strange. The boots had real laces. I was fascinated by that because a lot of the
really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And of course the camouflage and what have you.
Yeah.
And it was all the accessories as well. It came with like the grenades and the knife and the pistol he had, as well as his rifle as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would spend so long just going through different scenarios. You know, I just there were so many different accessories you get. You can get like, you know, tents and camping utensils, whatever you wanted to get, you can get in Action Man. So I would just pretend that they were going on operation. They'd, you know, jump out the plane, parachute in to enemy behind enemy lines. They'd have to, you know, navigate around, survive on rations and make their own fires and what have you, and then ultimately obviously end up in combat somewhere. Yeah, this, I don't know what it was about Action Man. I absolutely loved it. I remember the only problem with Action Man was it was big, and so all the vehicles are massive as well.
Yeah.
So my dad kind of limited what he would buy for me. I said, "Oh, I'd love to get a tank," or "I want this,"
Yeah.
and he'd always kind of say, "Well, maybe, but I don't know if we've got the space for it." So it ended up with a few action men, but not particularly that many vehicles. And then
Yeah.
I saw this competition as a kid, and I've tried to find it since, and I can't find it. I don't know if it was in a magazine or newspaper or whatever it was, but you could enter this competition and you could win almost the whole Action Man line. It was crazy.
Oh,
There
wow.
was loads of different vehicles, loads of Action Man outfits, play
Yeah.
sets, everything. But to enter the competition, what you had to do was answer some silly questions. But
Okay.
then they gave you a list of everything that was in Action Man, and each item had like a number of points. And they said, tick the things that you would want if you won this competition, but you can't go beyond, I don't know, 150 points,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had to go through and think about exactly what you wanted. Oh my God, I looked at this thing for it must have been weeks. I could not make my mind up.
Really?
Well, yeah, I
Mm.
kind of went through it and went, "Oh, I want that, 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 and that," and then, "Oh, that doesn't quite fit. What if I swap that for that? Then that will fit in the points." And then I look at it, and the next day I go, "Oh, no, 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 I'm gonna go more this theme. I'm gonna go," and I tick this. I could not make my mind up, and I was convinced I was gonna win this competition, so I spent ages thinking
Oh.
about this. I sent it off, and I never heard anything back, never since.
Oh no, that's got to be
I
that's the worst
Because I was thinking, I'm convinced I'm gonna win this, and then my dad would have no choice. One day, there would just be a truck that turns up outside the front of the house, and there would just be box after box of Action Man
part.
being delivered.
So cool.
And my
But when
dad
you were doing it though,
so
when you were
pleased.
doing it, that must have been the most important thing in the world at that
Yeah,
time, wasn't it? To try and get, yeah,
it
yeah,
was. It was the most important thing in the world. It was like, "I've got to get this right," and I was just mad. It was mental, really, when I think back of it, but that's what you did as a kid, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, did they have certain like because I again not I know Action Man, I know of Action Man, and I've seen it and stuff like that, but I was never really into it as a kid. And you're right, those vehicles were pretty big. But did they have like accessory packs that you could get with Action Man, like different rifles and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and
Oh,
like
oh, yeah, loads.
yeah,
Loads of
yeah,
different accessory packs, yeah. Rifles and then just different, like I say, you can get, like camping accessories, there'd be like a card with lots of different camping, like you have like
yeah,
a frying pan and a burner and even, cutlery and stuff like that. You got everything basically. It was
yeah,
just mental. And then you could buy gun sets, gun racks, you could anything you could think of, right? And of course, it
yeah,
wasn't just, of course, army, you know, themes. You could have there was the space themes, and then the all of the uh, oh gosh, what do you call it? Ceremonials and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. I
So
think they're pretty cool, the ceremonials.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't have any of the ceremonials as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised, 'cause I thought my dad would have kind of bought some of those, but yeah, yeah, I just loved Action Man. It was
Who was the enemy back in the day for Action Man then? Because they had a lot of like action men, like the Marines and
yeah.
the armies and stuff
Well,
like that. Who do they have as the enemy?
you can have whoever you wanted as the enemy, because you could have you had obviously you could have World War II, so you wanted to have allies
Oh, I'm with
against.
you. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could
Okay.
have whatever you can have. They've got Russian outfits, German outfits,
Wow.
whatever you wanted really. Um, so you can make that up. But also in the space range, you had you had the Intruder as an enemy, which is one of the most hated figures, I think, in the Action Man line, in the Action
I've
Man
heard of
campaign.
him, but I can't remember what
But
he
I,
looks
I,
like.
I love him. I think he's brilliant. But yeah, you had the Intruder as an enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, as I say, in your mind, you set up whole operations. That's what I did. I had an operation. You Normally the operation was one where you had to get in, do something, and get out. Those are the operations I loved.
yeah,
Um, Firefox, the with Clint
yeah.
Eastwood.
Oh, what a great film that is. Yeah,
I loved all that. My dad loved that
yeah,
film. In fact,
yeah,
my dad loved war films. Oh, he loved those. So
yeah,
I watched them with him, and then I just tried to recreate what I'd just seen. So anything like Firefox, where you've got to go in, you've got to steal something, you've got to find some
yeah,
plans, whatever, and get out. those are always the kind of scenarios that I love playing as a
Did
kid.
you? I mean, because they're big enough to take outside. Did you take them outside, or did you predominantly play with your toys indoors?
No, Action Man, I did. We had there was a woods nearby where we used to take our BMXs. Also had some remote control cars we used to take down there. And
Yeah,
there was the woods, and then there's this big open area which is sort of stone-like, and then where they'd made the BMX track, they'd made ramps and humps and stuff like that.
yeah,
I'd often go down there and sort of, you know, do outdoor stuff with the Action Men. But actually, that reminds me, because obviously I grew out of Action Man. I did grow out of Action
yeah.
Man, I think, quite early on, and I do remember. I know Action Men collectors are going to hate me for this, but it distinctly marks the end of my Action Man era as a kid. I remember burning one.
Oh my gosh! What in the name of
I,
what?
I just
For anybody watching, I do apologise. We've learned a lot about Dave. He's another one who burns his toys, Action Man, and he also jumps into places and takes stuff out of bins. It's I don't know what to say.
and
It's all the quiet ones you've got to watch out for.
yeah, and so he didn't completely burn, but
Yeah,
he kind I think his legs or whatever melted away, right? It just
yeah.
melted into sort of turned
As
very
they,
black in my view. And I remember just leaving it. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what got into me sometimes. I just left him in the gutter at the front of the house.
God, it's like Obi-Wan
And
leaving Anakin burnt.
yeah, now I have no idea if my parents ever found him there, but they never said anything to me, so they may have done.
Do you
I mean,
regret
I
doing
don't.
that?
Sorry?
Do you regret doing that? Was there any
Um,
regret?
no, I don't think so, because as a kid you kind of explore
God, you
stuff,
take
don't
out
you?
to
And
first.
I guess I was exploring fire and flames at the time. And
We've got another sin on our hands, haven't we, from Toy Story? Unbelievable. God, you and Scott Whitehouse, the pair of you, unbelievable. Wow.
I was a very good child. I didn't really get into trouble. I
Yeah.
will say that now. I never really got into trouble. I wasn't.
No, you just
I
burn
wa
your toys.
No, I wasn't interested in getting into trouble like that. But
Yeah.
I did. I was fascinated by exploring stuff and just seeing, you know, what happened. So yeah, I just thought, well, what happens if I try and burn an Action Man? That was kind of my experiment for that day.
I mean, when you were thinking that, what was you expecting to happen?
I don't know. I didn't know if it was going to resist. I don't know. I was just going to see what happens. I thought, to be honest, it probably wasn't going to burn, but it turns out it did. And
Oh,
I never really, yeah.
look
I
back.
think that was it. That was the end of that. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, would you go back and get any more Action Men, or do you think you're done with what you've got now with your Action Man sort of stuff?
We have plenty of Action Men in here now. I've got,
Yeah,
in fact, I've got Action Men that aren't even on display. So but there would be a couple more outfits, I think, that I would probably go for.
yeah.
There are actually a couple more German outfits I would love to get,
Okay.
but not much more. I would love to get the vehicles, but again, my dad was right. They take up so much space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, they do. They're huge. I mean, those kind of vehicles, they would be the ones that you'd play in the garden. And I'm not going to say what I was going to say because that's a bit unfair. So it was about, I know where you could get some German uniforms from, but I don't think Martin would be too impressed. So I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, moving swiftly on. What else have you got?
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
My last item for today. This represents my transition from analog to digital when it comes to toys.
Oh, okay.
This was the very first
Oh,
electronic game that I ever played on,
Invader
and I
1000.
remember this distinctly. Galaxy Invader 1000. This was a birthday present. I was at my grand's. My dad decided we're going to visit my gran on my birthday. This may have actually been a present from my gran, actually. And she lived in North London, which is why I think at some point I did have an Arsenal top. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But I did have a Liverpool scarf as well when I was younger, so I
Oh,
think
that's it. Well, you've redeemed yourself. Yeah.
yeah, it was red on one. I remember distinctly, it had red on one side and yellow on the other, and I
Okay.
wish I still had it, but I don't.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah, but I remember unwrapping this and thinking, what is this? This looks cool.
Yeah.
Opened it up, and we put the batteries in, and it was this. And I thought this was the coolest thing on the planet. It was like,
Yeah. It does look pretty cool, doesn't it?
yeah. This well, a slight variation of this actually appears in the Ahsoka Star Wars series.
Really?
Yep, in I don't know which episode it is, but it's when they is it Sabine tries to decode a message or something in one of the droids,
Oh, right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
using a device. She's got it. She's holding it this way round,
Right.
and obviously it doesn't look like this because that would be stupid in Ahsoka, but they have kind of modified it slightly, and
Wow.
but it
Okay.
is basically it's an Invader 1000 essentially, yeah.
Wow.
Um, so I got this. We put the batteries in. I turned it on,
Look at that.
and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" And then the rest of my family are like, "Oh no, this is the worst present ever," because listen to those sound effects. You cannot
Turn it
switch
down.
off the sound effects.
Oh, there's no volume on there.
There's nothing. So I'm there going, "Oh, thanks, Gran, thanks, Dad," and I'm like spending all day on this thing because I'm like thinking this is just the best thing ever. But it is basically a kind of Space Invaders, sort of Space
Yeah.
Invaders, yeah, with 3 different levels, and I just played this all day. And when I look at it now, it's very simple, but back then, this was, you've just gone
Hey, you
from
are. Yeah.
you've gone from Lego and you've gone from figures, and now all of a sudden you've got this thing that you're interacting with. I was blown away.
So that's what got you properly like into that kind of thing then, is it?
Yeah, it was, yeah, and maybe that's why my dad then went and hunted down the computer. That may well be why he did that,
Possibly.
because obviously this is just one game, and I think we did have a few other. I think I did have a few other handhelds. I think there was a Donkey Kong handheld
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we had, but not many because I think my dad realised, well, why don't I just get a computer? Because that was the start of the home computer scene then.
But then
Uh,
was you a gamer when you got your home computer? Did you play games on it, or did you just like interested in how it all worked and stuff like that, and like
Oh no, I
try?
was a gamer. I was heavily a gamer. Oh yeah,
Okay.
on the Commodore 64, I amassed a huge game collection. I would swap games with other people. I remember, posting discs to random people, because people would put, adverts in computer gaming magazines,
Yeah.
and so you'd end up swapping games just by sending them over through the post,
Okay.
and of course, these were all pirated games. Nobody was paying for them. And then the friends at school, so you just end up swapping games and building up a collection. So I was a heavy gamer. I'd buy Zap 64 every month. I just couldn't wait for the new edition of Zap 64 to arrive.
Yeah.
Going through it, going, oh, what are the new games? What can I get? I was going to say, what can I buy? What can I swap with my friends? If it's more like it. And yeah, I was heavily into it. But then, I would on the side learn how to program and make games. I mean, that's what happened back in the early 80s. The
Yeah.
games industry was spun up not with large corporations because they didn't exist. It's spun up because kids were in their bedrooms creating games on their home computers. And
That's
then some of
insane.
them would be distributing them. I never distributed a game. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just didn't know that you could, as a kid, do that. When I
Yeah.
look back now, I think, oh, maybe I wish I knew somebody that told me that could be done. But
Yeah.
I was learning to program and write my own simple games, as well as play them. Yeah, and that's where my career started really, and got me into that whole software world. Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. I remember when computers, because we went from secondary school to no, we didn't. We went from middle school to secondary school, and then the computers started coming in, and people were saying, "Oh, you want to get into computers?" And I was like, "No, no, no. It's just a fad. It's just a phase.
It's a fad.
It won't last long." 25, 30, 40 years later, you look where we are. It's just
Yeah,
incredible. I'm kind of like regretting the fact that I didn't go into that kind of thing because it wasn't for me. I just wasn't interested in it. I was like more practical. I'd like going out and doing stuff and being
yeah,
active as opposed to sitting down in front of a computer screen. I mean, to me, it's a totally different language. My cousin
yeah.
does.
I went from figures. I went from
Yeah,
figures and all that kind of stuff, and I transitioned into home computer and BMXing. So that I was kind of, you know, I made out that I kind of stay indoors all the time when I was a kid. I was out all the time as a kid, but I would
yeah,
swap my time between the home computer and going out on my BMX. That was kind of the way it was back in the 80s for me. And, if you think about in the UK back in the 80s, there was a really strong push by the government. It's one of the few times I think that, not to get too political, but one of the few times that the UK government, I think, has looked forward and they went,
yeah,
oh, this computer thing we've got to be, a country that is skilled in this. So they really pushed this idea of computing to kids and what have you. And that's why in schools you had the BBC Micro. That's why
yeah,
in every school you had a BBC Micro, because it was all driven by the government. There would be programs on TV that weren't just about playing games on computers. It was about programming on computers. Can you imagine that? A TV program today about computer programming? It wouldn't happen. But back in the 80s, it
yeah.
did happen. There was a massive push. And I guess I rode that wave with a lot of other people back in the day. It was a
Yeah,
great
but I mean,
time.
like I say, it's something that's heavily impacted your life and where you
Yeah.
are now, isn't it? So
Not just
that's
mine, lots of kids back in
well,
the day. I
yeah,
think it was a huge movement, really. It was a great time because it was the start of something really new. Um, you know, when it all first started, we were still loading games off of tapes. It was,
yeah, gosh,
it's ancient technology when you look back at it now.
yeah,
So we've seen it, the 80s generation has seen it all in terms of
yeah,
computing.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, to be
obviously,
fair, not saying I'm rubbish at the computers and stuff like that. I can turn a laptop on and I can run StreamYard. That's about as good as it gets. But yeah, I've done all right for myself, I think. But
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I just took to it. It was for me. It was just um, as soon as my dad brought that Dragon 32 home and I tried it,
yeah,
I was hooked. It was like I was no turning back for me at that point. No turning back.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
loved
That
it.
is
Loved
awesome. Yeah, no, cool, cool, cool. Dave, we've come to the end of the chat. I've got to say, I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you. What a great conversation, really interesting, and it's nice because I get to hear different like memories and stuff like that. But I also learn different things as I go along doing this series as well. So awesome stuff. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot you taking part. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on social media, the usual places, Instagram and YouTube mainly, uh, under
Okay.
the uh, under the handle Vintage Toy Rush. I
Yeah,
haven't produced a video for a long while,
yeah,
but
we've noticed.
subscribe.
Yeah,
You'll find restorations and toy hunts and all sorts of
yeah.
stuff there. So yeah, and you never know, I may produce a few more videos in the future.
Well, no, we hope so. We hope so. What I'll do is I'll leave the link to your social media platforms in the description below. Like I say, thank you so much. It's been absolutely awesome. Let me just where are we going here? There you go. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you so much. Awesome stuff.
Well, thank you for having
For
me
those
on.
of oh
Yeah.
no, it's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, it's been a while since we've actually properly chatted, and I know we see each other at toy fairs and stuff like that. But
Yes.
actually sit down and chat like this I think it's pretty cool. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I've enjoyed
Um,
it myself. Yeah.
Cool beans. Awesome stuff. Thank you. For those of you who've watched, stay to the end. Whether you've either watched it or listened, thank you very much. It does mean a lot. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Hello, Toy Collector fans. Universal Toy Collector here, and welcome to the channel. And welcome to another episode of my childhood toy memories. Didn't like that, it's talking nasally. Okie dokie then, so we are back again for another episode of my childhood toy memories, the series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube and for fuckity duckity duckity doos, Jesus Christ. Okie dokie then. So we are back for another episode of My Childhood Toy Memories, the series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube toy collecting family about certain toys they had as a child. And those, oh, for the love of God. Oh, no. Okie dokie, and well... Oh, crikey. Okie dokie, welcome to another episode of My Childhood Toy Memories, the series where I get to chat to members... Oh, chat with... Okie dokie, so we have another episode of My Childhood Toy Memories, this series where I get to chat with members of the toy collecting YouTube. Oh, I'll tell you what, Dave. It's days like this I wish I'd never bloody bothered. Unbelievable. Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of My Childhood Toy Memories, this series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube toy collecting family about certain toys they had as a child. And those toys will bring back... what is going on? Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of My Childhood Toy Memories, this series where I get to chat with members of the YouTube toy collecting family about certain toys they had as a kid. And those certain toys bring back certain memories for our guests. This week, I'm joined by VTR Dave. Oh, for I can't forget you on the screen! God's sake! God damn it, hell! Oh, my days. Right, oh. I don't know what to say.
I hope there's going to be a bloopers version of this. I hope there's
No, there's not. Absolutely not. It's shocking.
Oh,
Right.
I tell you, when I've done some of my videos and it's like, Jesus, what are you doing? It's like take 10. You're like, what am I doing?
It's so simple. It's so simple. And I make it look so bloody difficult. Right. We'll try that a bit again. I'll start laughing now.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all good. Yeah.
I'm glad we all do it. We all do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, that's why I like pre-recording it when I did my collecting life. It's so much bloody easier. No. Right. Okay, here we go again. Hang on, let's just put that there so I can click on you. There you go. Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of My Childhood Toy